Today I want to give you the true Atari Jaguar experience. You know, the Atari Jaguar often gets a really bad rap, and it does seem like, well, at least there was a time where if somebody wanted a bunch of views on YouTube, they would make a video trashing the Jaguar and just talking about how terrible it is and, you know, what a failure it was. And yeah, it was a failed console, but there's some awesome games for the Atari Jaguar, and I absolutely love owning a Jaguar. So today I want to showcase 5 awesome games for the Atari Jaguar, and I'm going to take you into the room I have dubbed the Atari Jaguar room. And I'm going to show you exactly how I play my Jaguar and hopefully give you an experience and the true Atari Jaguar experience. So without further ado, let's get started. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments, by the way. Have you played an Atari Jaguar? Did you ever own one? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Have you just watched videos on it and formed an opinion? Well, let's get started, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Alright, so the first game that I want to talk about today is Power Drive Rally. Man, I love this game. This game, it reminds me of a really good RC Pro-Am as far as the controls. Now, the graphics are just amazing in this game. It is a blast to play. It also kind of reminds me of, you know, the old AFX slot cars. You know, I as a kid, I'd gotten the AFX slot car sets for Christmas and absolutely loved playing with them. And this kind of reminds me of that, or it reminds you of kind of maybe controlling a remote control car on a dirt track and just having a good time. Now this game also has some light RPG elements to it, I would say, because every race that you race, you do take damage and you have to earn money by winning the race, and then you spend that money on repairing your car and entering the next race. And if you get to a point where you don't earn enough money, you lose a race or two, and you can't pay that entry fee for the next race, well, it's game over. And there's some really cool things about it too. There are also sections where you have to pass, and you'll be required to kind of take the car in a certain time limit around a course, park the car, you know, put it in reverse, back it up. There's weather in the game. Your headlights actually work in the game and you have to turn them on, and if you damage those headlights, they start flickering and eventually go out. If you're driving in a night race, that can really affect you. But this game is amazing. It really is, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. Of course, you don't hear a lot of people talking about the Atari Jaguar, at least in a positive way. And but this is one of the games that I'm really glad that I have in my collection. I play it often, and I think that it really does showcase the graphics that the Jaguar was capable of. The soundtrack's great. The only thing that's I would say negative about this game, and there's 2 versions of the game. One version doesn't have this issue, but when you go and repair your car, there is a very annoying sound when you're, you know, putting money in to repair certain parts of your car, your tires, your, you know, whatever. And that can get a little old after each race, but that's really not a deal breaker at all. Maybe just hit the mute button when you do that. But Power Drive Rally, man, this game rocks. I love it. I'm glad I own it. And yeah, check it out if you can. And, you know, emulation has gotten a lot better for the Jaguar. And it is actually possible to emulate a lot of these games nowadays. And anyway, so the next game that I want to showcase, and this is the game, one of the first games I got, and it's the first time I ever played Doom. And Doom is awesome. I'm glad that I own this complete in box. Yeah, I've got a little, you know, damage to the box, but I don't know, how old is the box now? 30, 40 years old? And it is awesome. One of the cool things about the Jaguar too is the overlays for certain games. Doom is one of those games that has an overlay to it. My camera will focus. But it's really cool. And you can swap your weapons out on the fly just by hitting the correlating button to whatever weapon you want to switch to. which is cool. A lot of home ports of Doom to the home console back in the day, you'd have to cycle through your weapons, but if you get that number pad memorized, you can hit that number and hit that pad on the overlay and switch right to the weapon that you want to switch to. But this game and this version of Doom on the Atari Jaguar is super smooth. I would rather play this than the 32X version that was out, at the same time. And I would certainly rather play it over the SNES version. It was a technical marvel that the SNES version was able to play, that the SNES was able to play Doom. But man, it does not hold a candle to Jaguar Doom, that's for sure. I absolutely love Doom on the Jaguar. It has a lot of nostalgia to me. There is no soundtrack while you're playing. Now, in between levels, you'll hear those, the soundtrack of Doom. You'll hear those iconic tunes come on. But you know what? It kind of adds to the scariness of Doom. I would rather have the soundtrack, to be honest with you, but I like playing it the way it is. And maybe that's nostalgia talking, but it almost makes it a little more spooky, a little scarier, because it's dead quiet. You turn a corner and you hear an imp, or you hear a soldier, and there is actual jump scares in Doom on the Atari Jaguar. It's cool. It has, almost all the levels from the first original Doom. Doesn't have them all. There's a few levels missing, a few monsters missing. But man, let me tell you, this is a great way to play Doom, and it's a great experience on the Atari Jaguar. All right, let's go to the next game. This game, and I would watch a lot of Jaguar videos. I'm just a big Jaguar fan. I owned it back in the day and has a lot of nostalgia to me. And I saw one video that claimed that Super Burnout had a terrible frame rate, and you were lucky to get 15 frames a second out of it. That's a bunch of baloney. This game runs at 60 frames per second, buttery smooth all the time. Super Burnout is a great super scaler racer, motorcycle racer, and it is awesome, man. Really cool things about this game is there's several different bikes you can pick from, and those bikes handle different, they brake different. Some bikes are super fast, but they don't handle well. They don't grip the road as well as other bikes. And so I think there's 9 different bikes, I believe, that you can pick from. Don't quote me on that, but and I think 11 different tracks that you can choose. And you can bump up the laps. You can reduce the laps. So if you want to play a shorter game, you could reduce those laps that you're racing. You can control the drone difficulty that you're racing against. You also have kind of a rubber mark on the road that you can follow. That'll kind of let you know where you need to be to make each corner, make each turn. Now, I will tell you, using faster bikes, I don't care if that rubber mark's there or not, you got to use your brakes. But, that is there, and you can turn that off if you want as well. You can make this game as difficult as you want or as easy as you want, really. It's a blast to play, and I just love the graphics. I love the soundtrack in Super Burnout. This game is one of those games I'm really, really glad that I have complete in box. And my box is minty, and I got this from a buddy of mine. Ryan, you know who you are, man. We made a big trade, and this was one of the games that I got complete in box from him, and I just absolutely love this game. Super Burnout. If you get a chance to play a Jaguar or emulate a Jaguar, try to check out Super Burnout. I'm not sure if that's an emulation, if it's emulatable or not. Does that make sense? Anyway, then of course, one of my absolute favorite games on the Atari Jaguar is Iron Soldier. Man, I absolutely love Iron Soldier. It is so good. This is another game that comes with an overlay, and that overlay is pretty important. You can play it without it, but as you can see there, you really kind of need that overlay, and you choose your different weapons, your loadout. You get a loadout before you start each level, and you'll put maybe a Gatling gun on your shoulder, a rifle on your arm, or even maybe a chainsaw on your arm. That's in the game as well. You can load up both of your shoulders once you acquire the weapons. You can put grenades on your hip. It's just really cool. And there's certain buildings when everything is destructible. The entire environment is destructible in Iron Soldier. And sometimes you'll need to blow up those buildings, and when you do, you'll find either a new weapon in certain levels. You'll find ammo. You'll find a repair kit that'll give repair your mech. And it really does, in my opinion, playing Iron Soldier, it feels like you're in a 50-foot giant mech. I love this game, man. It is so good. And it's so satisfying to shoot helicopters out of the sky, blow tanks up, destroy buildings, and destroy other Iron Soldiers, other mechs, other huge mechs. And those things can be tough, but I found, one of the best ways to go at them is with the chainsaw. Just get right behind them and try to chop them as fast as you can. And of course, the game gets a lot more difficult in later levels. It's beatable though, but it is a good game. And there's also you can get a rocket launcher that has a remote, like a camera on the rocket launcher, on the rocket. So when you launch that rocket launcher, you're going to have a POV of the actual rocket and be able to steer it and affect where it goes. And that is very, very cool. It's I don't know, that's probably the first time I've ever seen that feature in a game, was playing Iron Soldier. And I remember getting it back in the day, putting it in the Jaguar, put that overlay on the controller, and just had a blast with it, man. And I should mention also, mine is in mint condition, of course. I got it brand new, and I think I paid $50 for a sealed brand new copy of Iron Soldier. Now this was a few years ago. Probably can't do that nowadays, but it is one of the more affordable Atari Jaguar games. And a lot of the games for the Jag, if they're loose, can be gotten at a fairly cheap price. Buying the system, that's a whole different story. It's a pretty expensive system to get into, but man, if you got the money and you want to, collect for an awesome system, kind of an obscure system, and become part of a really cool Jaguar community, it's worth the buy, in my opinion. All right, so the last game that I want to feature and showcase is one that I didn't find until later in life, and this also came from my buddy Ryan through a trade, and it's complete in box. It's Ultra Vortec. And this game is awesome, man. Now this game has what they call annihilations, and it's very cool. Those annihilations are specific to each different character, and it involves like beheading your opponent, and then the head will fly out towards the screen. It's awesome, man. Very cool. And then it also has stage fatalities and what you would call poopalities. Yeah, that's right, poopalities. You can turn your opponent into a steaming pile of poop. But the game is very, very good. And you know what? One of the coolest things about this game is it really takes advantage of that 3-button controller, and you can play this with 3 buttons with no problem. I don't know how they did it, but they did it just right, and it feels right. It feels right playing this game with 3 buttons. It's awesome. It doesn't utilize the rest of the number pad, and I really don't care that it doesn't. This is a good game. It's a Mortal Kombat type of clone, of course, but the stages, the different backgrounds and environments are just awesome. And some of those stages, like I said, you can, you can do the old uppercut, and then the opponent falls down to his death, just like in Mortal Kombat on the bridge, that type of thing. There's certain stages that you can do that in. And then, you know, you've got your regular annihilations and, yeah, poopality. The poopalities are hard to pull off, in my opinion. I've only done it like once, I think, and but it is pretty cool. I mean, it's there. You can do it if you want, but the game is much deeper than that. It's a really good game, and I actually just love this game. It's one of my favorite fighting games, seriously. And there's a lot of great fighting games out there that would be on my list, but Ultra Vortec is on my list, and that might be my Atari Jaguar bias. I don't know. But if you do have an Atari Jaguar, I would recommend getting Ultra Vortec. If you're emulating, man, emulate this one. It's a good one. It's a lot of fun. There's a small roster of characters to pick from, but all the characters are really cool. They all have different, you know, just like any fighting game, different abilities and strengths and weaknesses. It's cool though. And, you know, when you play this, it takes you right back to the 1990s and fighting games, how they were in the 1990s and how I love my fighting games. 2D, and, you know, the Jaguar could have been just, and it was, a 2D powerhouse. I wish they would have explored more 2D and side-scrolling games, kind of like Rayman and so forth. But, yeah, Ultra Vortec. I can't recommend this game enough. It's a blast. Cool game, man. So there you go. Those are my 5 games that I wanted to showcase in this video, and this is going to be a series of videos, I'm hoping anyway, and I'm hoping to showcase 5 other games out of my collection that I like, that I think are very good games. Some of those might be Wolfenstein, Rayman. There's a host of other games that are really good games for the system. Tempest 2000, of course, that I'm going to show off in future videos. But I would love to hear from you. What's your experience with the Atari Jaguar? And is, you know, other videos showcasing the Jaguar, would that be of interest to you? Let me know in the comments. Everybody would love to see, read your comments and your experiences and your reactions. I'd love to hear it. So also, I just want to thank our members on this channel, Colin and Kiwi. Thank you so much for your membership, and I appreciate it. We do have memberships available. We have t-shirts and mugs available as well. So check that out if you want to get a chance. But the easiest and cheapest way to support the channel is to hit that like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. So thank you so much for joining me today, and until next time, we'll catch you later.